everybody, we are back. We are on chapter 3. Now remember, we are working out of the book As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. This is an audio version. I am reading the chapters to you, of course, but we are discussing them as well. As I said, we are on chapter 3. Chapter 3 is called The Effect of Thought on Health and the Body. Now chapter 2 was the effect of thought on circumstances. Circumstances meaning in our 3D world. What's happening in our 3D world? What's happening in our present life? But now now James Allen's taken it a step further and saying the effect of thought, the effect of our positive thinking or negative thinking, how does that relate to our health and the body? So this is a terrific chapter, and he goes a little bit deep. It's a very short chapter, by the way. It's only a couple pages. So let's get rocking and rolling and dive into this. The body is a servant of the mind. Listen to this. I mean, this goes deep in this chapter. Our body is a servant of the mind. It obeys the operations of the mind, whether they are deliberately chosen or automatically expressed. At the binding of unlawful thoughts, the body sinks rapidly into disease and decay. At the command of glad and beautiful thoughts, it becomes clothed with youthfulness and beauty. Let me see what color I have on really quick. And this is what I love here. And you know, our thought, and I've been diving more into this. I might share this as this chapter goes along a little bit, but I've been diving more, really in the power of the subconscious mind, but going deep with it and learning that we are in control of our health. Our body will listen to us. You know, our subconscious mind controls the body and controls our health. So every cell will listen to us. So James Allen says this right here. At the binding of unlawful thoughts. What does that mean? Negative thoughts. We're constantly thinking negative. We're festering on the negative. We're constantly focused on what we don't like. And when we focus on such thoughts like this, the body sinks rapidly into disease and decay. Then he says the reverse is true. Remember, with universal law, okay, if one end of the spectrum is true, well, the opposite has to be true as well. You know, if negative thoughts affect the body negatively, well, there has to be an opposite. It has to be an opposite to the law. If there's a hot, it has to be a cold. Well, there has to be a positive as well. What about our positive thoughts? Okay, so he says, at the command of glad and beautiful thoughts, it becomes clothed with youthfulness and beauty. Disease and health, like circumstances, are rooted in thought. Listen, disease and health, like circumstances, like your 3D world, are rooted in thought. Sickly thoughts will express themselves through a sickly body. Thoughts of fear have been known to kill a man as speedily as a bullet, and they are continually killing thousands of people just as surely, though less rapidly. The people who live in fear of disease are the people who get it. Listen, we could spin this several different ways. Okay, people who live in fear of disease are people who get it. Anxiety quickly demoralizes our whole body, and it lays it open to the entrance of disease. While impure thoughts, even if not physically indulged, will soon shatter the nervous system. But then he switches it. Okay, remember when he's going back and forth, he's basically describing, well, what happens to our body when we constantly fester on the negative. Then he also flips it and says, well, what happens to the body if we constantly fester on love and beauty and positive thoughts? Because remember, when we explain universal law here, and he's not really saying universal law, sometimes he does, but universal laws always has an opposite. So there's a hot, there has to be a cold. There's a positive, has to be a negative. There's an up, well, it has to be a down. So the laws work on the same plane. So let's continue. Strong and pure and happy thoughts build up the body in vigor and grace. The body is a delicate and plastic instrument which responds readily to the thoughts by which it is impressed. And habits of thought will produce their own effects, good or bad, upon it. That's why he says good or bad, because we're working on the same plane here. And remember, I say this in every chapter, but just in case you're just jumping into this, you know, the universal laws do not discriminate. And you might hear me say this over and over and over. because you really have to understand this. You really have to get this. As universal laws don't discriminate. It is what it is. It doesn't play favorites, okay? It isn't like it was when you were in high school where you played favorites and manipulated the teachers to like you. And if you were one of their favorites, you would get a little bit better grades, get a little bit of a cushion here and there, won't be as strict with you, so forth and so forth. But we take those habits that we've learned as a kid, an early adult, and even later adult in the workplace when we go out and get a career, then we think we can manipulate universal law. We think we can manipulate our subconscious mind. Subconscious mind in universal law just works as is. You can't manipulate these laws to work for you. You either work with the law or you work against the law. And James Allen continues, men will continue to have impure and poisoned blood so long as they propagate unclean thoughts. Out of a clean heart comes a clean life and a clean body. Out of a defiled mind proceeds a defiled life and a corrupt body. Thought is the fount of action, life, and if I could talk, I'm so sorry. Thought is the fount of action, life, and manifestation. Listen to this. Because we're all involved here, especially if you listen to this, you either want a better life, or you really involved in, or you really into manifesting. In manifesting techniques, and you're following like Neville Goddard, Thomas Trower, Napoleon Hill, or even like new prosperity teachers today. Now I'm really into kind of old school prosperity teachers, because this is where everybody gets their stuff. This is where everybody learns. All this information is really just regurgitated today in 2024. There's nothing really, honestly, from my research, I've been doing this for a couple decades. From my research, nothing is new. You have to understand this. You might not believe me, but when you really dive into this, you'll start learning, nothing is new. None of this information is new nowadays. And even with As a Man Thinketh, this was published in 1902. So this book has been out for 122 years. So this is why I love these types of books. So let's read this again. Remember, thought, okay, positive and negative, is the fount of action, life, and manifesting. Okay, it's our thought which manifests into our 3D world. It's our thought. Remember, it comes from within out that's giving us what we want. We finally can see it, but it's basis on our internal thoughts, our internal beliefs, our secret thoughts. Thought is a fountain, action, life, and manifesting. Make the fountain pure, and all will be pure. Change of diet would not help a man who would not change his thoughts. Listen to this. Change of diet would not help a man who would not change his thoughts. Why is he talking about diet here? Because we're talking about our health and body, how thoughts affect, either positive or negative affect, our health and body. So he's saying, if you change your diet, it will not help you if you don't change your thoughts. If you don't change the negative patterns you have within yourself, no matter if you change your diet or not, it's not going to help you. When a man makes his thoughts pure, he no longer desires impure food. Listen to this. When a man's thoughts are pure, what does pure mean? When man's thoughts are pure, they're positive, they're moral, they're good, he no longer desires impure food. Clean thoughts make clean habits. The so-called saint who does not wash his body is not a saint. He who has strengthened and purified his thoughts does not need to consider the malevolent microbe. If you would protect your body, guard your mind. Listen to this. If you want to protect your body, protect your health, guard your mind. Guard your mind and really be aware. See, this is awareness. When we say guard our mind, this is what manifesting is really all about. It's really becoming. We want to become a master of our life. Okay, we want to be able to control life. We want to be able to produce and manifest and live a life of our dreams. Live a life on our terms, no matter how you want to put it. But in order to do that, what James Allen is saying, we have to guard our mind. Okay, in all aspects of it. If we want health, great health and a great body, well, you have to guard your mind. What does that mean? You have to start being aware of your really deep internal beliefs, your secret thoughts. You have to start being aware of what are you festering on all day long? Because all of us fester. All of us, our mind is just constantly going. So what type of thoughts are you thinking about all day long? And if you're drifting constantly off into the negative in any realm, you constantly think about what you don't like, you're thinking about your boss at work that you hate, so forth and so forth. Well, you have to guard your mind. You have to start kind of pushing those thoughts out of your mind and only focus on good. Only focus on good thoughts. If you would renew your body, beautify your mind. Listen to this. If you would protect your body, guard your mind. If you would renew your body, beautify your mind. Thoughts of malice, envy, disappointment, despondency rob the body of its health and grace. Listen, I'm right here. Thoughts of malice, envy, disappointment, despondency rob the body of its health and grace. A sour face does not come by chance. It is made by sour thoughts. Listen to this. A sour face does not come by chance. It is made by sour thoughts. Isn't it so true? You ever see people, you don't know them, and you just walk around, maybe you go to the restaurant and eat, you're just out and about doing some shopping, grocery shopping, whatever you're doing. Isn't it weird when you start becoming aware of people, when you start looking around, you can see kind of what people are thinking. You can see if people just are happy and go lucky, or in this example, a sour face. You can just look at somebody and tell that something's going on internally, that they're thinking negative. Because you have friends that they can't really hide their emotions from you. Once you look at them, you know what's going on, or you at least know what's wrong. So this is great. A sour face does not come by chance. It is made by sour thoughts. Wrinkles that mar are drowned by folly, passion, and pride. Even I've noticed, like, since I've gotten a little bit older, like if I'm more stressed out and I'm having negative thoughts and those stress me out and I have like worry, doubt, and fear, okay, what I notice is that I'll have more gray hair. Seriously, I'll have more gray hair, especially like on the sides and stuff like that. My gray hair will pop out way more. Then if I go through periods where I'm having fun, I'm totally focused on positively, and I'm not, kind of the worry leaves me, the worry, fear, doubt leaves me, and I don't have that internal anxiety. Lots of times my gray hair will go away. Isn't that amazing? Because it's and he's talking about wrinkles. Wrinkles are like on our face. Is if we're constantly stressed out, we constantly have doubt, worry, and fear, well, that's going to be shown on our body, and more is really on our face, not so much on our arms and legs and stuff like that, but really our face kind of wears our emotions. I know a woman of 96 who has the bright, innocent face of a girl. And I know a man well under middle age whose face is drawn into inharmonious contours. The one is the result of a sweet and sunny disposition, and the other is the outcome of passion and discontent. Listen to this. He's saying, this is an example. He's saying he personally knows a woman that's 96 who has a bright, innocent face of a girl. But then also on the opposite, he also knows a man well under middle age, so I'm guessing he's probably in his 30s, whose face is drawn into inharmonious contours, meaning that he looks way older than he should. The one is the result of a sweet and sunny disposition, and the other is the outcome of passion and discontent. As you cannot have a sweet and wholesome abound unless you admit the air and sunshine freely into your rooms. So a strong body and a bright, happy, and serene contentness can only result from the free admittance into the mind of thoughts of joy and goodwill and serenity. On the faces of the aged, there are wrinkles made by sympathy, others by strong and pure thought, and others are carved by passion. You cannot distinguish them. With those who have lived righteously, age is calm, peaceful, and softly mellowed. Listen to this. I'm right here. And this is so true today when we talk about health in the body and our thoughts, especially with anti-aging. We have all these anti-aging techniques. We have all these anti-aging creams and devices and lotions to take our wrinkles away, to make us look younger, younger, younger. But we're really just attacking the symptom, but we're not attacking the root cause. Really the root cause is our thought. Okay, what are your thoughts? What's your thought process? I mean, what if you've really cleaned up your thoughts, you only thought good thoughts, what would that do to our health? I mean, think about that for a second. What would that do for the health? Would that take most of our wrinkles away? Yes, we're still going to age, but in this one, he's saying, you can age gracefully. You can age kind of behind the years, look way younger than you should. And let's continue. With those who have lived righteously, listen to this. With those who have lived righteously, what does that mean? You live by law. Okay, laws of the universe. Righteously meaning you have pure thoughts. You only have good thoughts. You're pulling out the good in every situation. And he says, age is calm, peaceful, and softly mellowed, like the setting sun. I have recently seen a philosopher on his deathbed. He was not old except in years. He died as sweetly and peacefully as he had lived. And this is the last paragraph here in green of this chapter. There is no physician like cheerful thought by dissipating the ills of the body. There is no comforter to compare with goodwill for dispensing the shadows of grief and sorrow. To live continually in thoughts of ill will, cynicism, suspicion, and envy, and we could put in there, we could add worry, doubt, and fear. So let's read this again. To live continually in thoughts of worry, doubt, and fear, ill will, cynicism, suspicion, and envy is to be confined to a self-made prison hole. You're stuck in a prison. You basically trapped yourself in a prison. And this also can be, we can also call this a law of karma. When you're just doing the same thing over and over and over, it produces the same results over and over and over and over throughout your life. That's the law of karma. But to think well of all, to be cheerful with all, to be patiently learn to find the good in all, okay, this is the law of conversation right here. Law of conversation is simple. Some people explain it horrible, but law of conversation is simple. It's looking for good in every situation, not just looking for good in you. You're looking for good in you. You're looking for good in your obstacles, negative obstacles that come your way. You're looking for good in every situation. When you look at other people, you're pulling out the good. Okay, stop. But what we end up doing is we pull out the negative, but we need to pull out the good. This is why he says, but to think well of all, to be cheerful with all, to be patiently learn to find the good in all, such unselfish thoughts are the very portals of heaven. And to dwell day by day in thoughts of peace toward every creature will bring abounding peace to their possessor, meaning you. Now this wraps up chapter 3. This was a short little chapter, but this really is a spin-off of chapter 2 when he started talking about our circumstances, how thought relates to our circumstances, meaning how thought relates to our 3D world, what's basically coming in our 3D world, what's manifesting to us. And it's manifesting to us because we brought it to us. Okay, and that's the thing we have to kind of come to terms with, is that if we don't like something manifesting in the world, we don't like something constantly coming to us, we've created that, and that's a very hard concept to get. Okay, it really is. That's really hard to get, because what people love to do is they love to try to come up with a really severe example to kind of disprove it, or a really severe negative example to say, what you mean I manifested this? you know what I mean? So, but it's really coming from, remember, manifesting works from within out, okay? It doesn't work from the outside in. We're living in reverse of the law. Most of us live from the outside in, but everything coming in your 3D world is coming from inside out. It's coming from your deep-rooted beliefs, and it's coming from your deep-rooted thoughts, it's coming from the secret thoughts you say. Because all of us talk to ourselves. All of us talk secretly in our mind. Our mind is constantly going. Your mind isn't just stagnant with no thoughts. Your mind are constantly going, and most of the time, we're constantly thinking about negative. Even researchers now, psychologists agree that we have about anywhere from 65,000 to 70,000 thoughts per day. I don't know how they know this, but this is research. But out of those 65,000 to 70,000 thoughts that we have per day, 70% of those thoughts are negative and redundant. What does that mean? Well, 70% of my thoughts are negative and I fester on it. I fester on the same thoughts over and over and over and over and over. And once you become aware of this, you'll find yourself in this trap. You'll find yourself in this cycle where all through the day, you basically just bounce back and forth between 5, 6, 7 negative thoughts. And that's all you really think about all day long. But what you're doing is bouncing back and forth. You don't stay on one thing, but you bounce back and forth all day long. But all day long, you're on this negative cycle that you just fester on it, which is the law of karma. Okay, and what we have to understand, that's what we're attracting to our lives. Those are our secret thoughts. Lots of times, our secret thoughts we don't tell anybody. It's just that's what we're just constantly thinking about. So that's what's actually, it's coming from within out. That's what's actually manifesting in our 3D world. How is it manifesting? Why is it manifesting? Because one of the things you need to do is go through, I did a series on working with the law by Raymond Hollowell, is that you need to understand universal law. Universal law doesn't discriminate. It doesn't play favorites. It is what it is. Your subconscious mind is what it is. Your subconscious mind isn't a comedian. It doesn't take jokes. Okay, so it's just giving you whatever you're giving it. And when you're constantly festering on negative and you're bringing emotion to it, your subconscious mind just takes it as is. Your subconscious mind just says, well, you must like this because you're constantly thinking about it and you're bringing emotion to it. So I'm going to bring you more of it. How does it bring you more of it? It brings it into your 3D world. It manifests it into your 3D world. That's why James Allen is saying, we have to guard our thoughts. Then in chapter 3 here, he connects it to how our thoughts affect our body and health. Because our thoughts affect, it's coming into our 3D world, but it's also affecting our body and health. And we can reverse it. Our negative thoughts we fester on can slowly deteriorate our health, or our positive thoughts can make our body way more healthy, youthful, take our wrinkles away, so forth and so forth. And this is what I've been kind of diving more into, that we can actually talk to our body. Same way if you follow Neville Goddard, you do Neville Goddard techniques. You lay down at night, you go inside your imagination, and you have your imaginal scene of what you want, and inside your imagination, you act as if it's already yours. No matter if it's a dream house, dream car, you want to be a millionaire, but you can do the same thing, okay, and put your health in there. Okay, if you have a disease, you want to be healthier, you want to be more in better shape, well, you do the same thing. You go in your mind, go in your imagination, and you see yourself healthy, well, you see yourself strong and young. Okay, so the same thing can work for you. Besides trying to manifest like an outside entity, you're manifesting a healthier version of yourself. So you can use these same techniques for having your body grow stronger, 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 and more youthful. Okay, you can actually do this stuff. So other than that, my friends, thanks for listening. Make sure you comment below if you have any questions on this. Remember, I love you guys, and I'll see you in chapter 4.